Running a short-term rental on your own isn't for everyone, but it's also not as hard as you might think. Now, in this episode, we'll cover off on how to self-manage a short-term rental, including digging into the tools and the team members you need to be successful. Many people have been reaching out to me regarding short-term rentals. Why? Well, because generally speaking, short-term rentals tend to produce a higher return than long-term rentals. They also like the fact that they can leverage the property themselves throughout the year. And while it's no hidden secret that short-term rentals are more work than long-term rentals, they don't have to be a lot of work, especially with the right team and systems in place. So how do you self-manage your own short-term rental? Well, let's get into some of the basics. First and foremost, you need a good cleaner. A good cleaner will make or break your business. Why? Well, because your property can be amazing, but if it isn't clean, the guest experience is going to start off on the wrong foot, and you're definitely going to hear about it. And it's going to affect your reviews. And when it comes to short-term rental properties, reviews drive your business. I'll say this one more time because it's that important. Reviews drive your business. And so it's crucial that you find a solid cleaner, and once you do, that you take care of that cleaner, because a good cleaner is worth their weight in gold. Second, you need a solid handyman for those last minute issues and fixes, unless you're planning on handling this yourself. Now, is it actually called handyman nowadays, handywoman? We're gonna go with handy person. You need a solid handy person, okay? And sometimes your cleaners, they'll actually have somebody in-house that can help with this and help facilitate any last minute issues and fixes. But if they don't, more often than not, they'll be able to refer you to a handy person in the area. And of course, you could always leverage your investor-friendly real estate agent for a handy person referral. Next, you'll need a local contact. If you don't live near a short-term rental, odds are you'll need to find somebody else to represent you as your local contact. Now, many cities, towns, and counties require a local contact because they want to make sure there's somebody in the area that can get to the property in short order should there be an emergency. And if you don't live close to the property or you don't want to take on this responsibility, you'll need to find somebody to do so. More often than not, you can get somebody in your team to fill this need, oftentimes your cleaner. Often cleaners are asked to perform this function and will do so for a fee, sometimes not for a fee. They'll do it for free, but I recommend if your cleaner is offering to do it without a fee, that you still pay them because it just helps to form a tighter relationship with them and it shows that you value their help. Now, those are the key people that you need on your team, but pending the location and type of property, you might need a couple others. So some others to think about are, do you need a landscaper? You might need somebody to help with the snow removal, and if you have a hot tub or pool, you may need somebody to help service those items. Typically, if you're listing on your own, you'll be listing your property on sites like Airbnb, Vrbo, and Booking.com, maybe even creating your own website. Now, when you're listing a property on your own, I recommend leveraging two key platforms to help manage everything. The first is a dynamic pricing tool, and the second is a property management software platform, often referred to as a PMS platform. When it comes to pricing, in my opinion, pricing tools built into platforms like Airbnb don't really do a good job. And this can equate to a lower number of nights booked per year and or nights booked at a lower rate per night. And so I use a paid platform called Price Labs. Now, if you're interested in using Price Labs, I'll put a link to Price Labs in the description below. Just note that this is a referral link, but the nice thing about it is we both make a little bit of money if you use the link. I like Price Labs because I feel like they're better and more efficient at leveraging the data they have, and I have seen an increase in number of nights booked as well as an increase in the rates that my property books. They do a really good job of leveraging this data to understand the demand and also understand the demand around certain types of activities such as events that are in the area around my short-term rentals. And so while Price Labs does require an additional fee, I feel like this small fee is more than worth it and has paid off for me in the end. When it comes to PMS platforms, there are many out there. Two of the more popular ones are Hospitable and Guesty. I personally use Hospitable, and if you want to support my channel, I'll put a referral link in the description below, but my recommendation is that you hop on Google and search up the various property management software platforms that are out there and choose the one that you feel would work best for you. I like to use Hospitable because it's really my hub for everything. Not only does it handle all of my general messaging, but it also helps me out in a lot of areas. All of my calendars integrate into Hospitable from the various listing platforms. So if a guest books on one platform, it will send notifications and block off those days on the other platform, so I prevent double booking. It also is the integration point for PriceLabs, my dynamic pricing tool. And so as PriceLab makes adjustments to the pricing of my property, it will then kick out that updated pricing to the various platforms that I'm listed on. I also use a Schlage Encode Wi-Fi doorknob on all of my short-term rental properties. And so what this allows me to do is to create a custom code for every guest. This is integrated into Hospitable and included in my welcome messaging to each and every guest. And so it really is this hub and platform for everything that I need to do around my short-term rental and helps with my messaging strategy. And so I'm able to create a guest messaging strategy in one place, which then gets kicked out to my various listing platforms. And I could probably create a whole video on my messaging strategy. If that's something that's of interest to you, please comment in the notes below, and if I have enough interest, I'll make a video on it. All right, so those are the core platforms and team members that I recommend you put in place to be successful in self-managing your own short-term rental. And once you have those in place, you're really good to go. In fact, I know some folks that follow this exact same strategy and have properties all around the world running everything from their mobile phone. Look, in real estate, things are gonna come up. It doesn't matter if you're short-term renting, mid-term renting, or long-term renting. It's just the nature of real estate. But if you have systems in place, if you have a strong team, you're better able to take some of the stress out of self-managing your own properties. Again, the reality is if you really want something to happen, you're gonna find a way to make it happen. If you don't, well, then you're just gonna find an excuse. All right, we'll see you next time.